Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is you're watching this. How was your week? How was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? We did. Saturday we went to the First People celebration. It was really interesting. So you got to learn about the Native Americans, and there was tribal dancing and drums and everything. So that was a lot of fun. And then we went to one of the little towns outside of where we live was holding a harvest fair. So we went to that yesterday and saw a bunch of vendors and beautiful artwork and different things. So that was fun and exciting. And so we're going to Bentley's acupunctures tomorrow. Or we call it acupuncture. His acupuncture. We call it acupunctures for him. As he's sitting over there chewing on his foot. Whoop. So, what are you drinking this morning? I'm drinking my usual London Fog with Earl Grey, or Miss Grey, Peak, P-I-Q-U-T, Peak Tea Earl Grey. Miss Grey is their version of Earl Grey. I'm drinking that. I am drinking, it has organic, remember I was talking about the difference between organic and natural last week? So organic whole milk, steamed, frothed and steamed, and with organic stevia, which is one thing we're going to talk about today, and organic vanilla. So yes. So let's get started. It's a lot. So we'll try to keep it as short as possible, but it might be a little longer today. So we're going to talk about sugar and cancer. So sugar. So let's understand the difference between common types of sugar and how they affect your body. So first you have the added sugar. So added sugar, which can include artificial sweeteners, brown sugar, glucose, and high fructose corn syrup, are found in drinks and processed foods. Now, remember on last week's video, I talked about how the FDA said that they approved of high fructose corn syrup. Yes, it's processed. Remember that. You'll learn a little bit more about that today too. So then you have natural sugars, so which are found in fruits and whole grains. These are called complex carbohydrates, and your body breaks them down and turns them into sugar. It processes at a slower rate than added sugar does, like from cakes, cookies, pies, and candies. So they don't have to be broken down and can cause your blood sugar to go up. Added sugar can lead to unwanted weight gain, which can cause other health problems and increase your risk for cancer. So basically, your natural sugar, its job is your system breaks it down, or it's supposed to. Everybody's different, but your system, ideally, it breaks it down on its own very slowly, so it doesn't cause your blood sugar to increase or anything like that. It breaks it down as needed. Whereas in added sugar, your system doesn't have to break it down, and that's why it causes your blood sugar to spike. So, an added sugar is basically in just about everything. So, if you're not supposed to eat added sugar, I like my stuff sweet. I'm from the South. We love our sweet tea. Any true Southerner, I know not every Southerner is like this, but any true Southerner will tell you They love their tea, their sweet tea. They like some tea to go with their sugar. It's got to be sweet. I love it. That's just me. A lot of your Southerners love their sweet too. Their sweets, their baked goods. So I'm not telling you can't eat it. I'm just telling you there's ways that you can eat it to make it a little bit better for you. So we're going to talk about that. So we're going to break down the different sweeteners other than sugar. Okay. So you have cane sugar, which cane sugar is just basically your regular white sugar. Okay. But it comes from sugar cane. The only difference is it has a hint of like a molasses taste, so it adds a deeper flavor. So when you see on the box, when you're looking at the ingredients and you see cane sugar, remember it's no different than regular sugar, okay? Cane sugar is sugar is sugar. It just has a little bit of a deeper flavor to it. Depending on what you like, sometimes it's a better flavor for what it's been combined with or what it's for. But yes, just keep that in mind. Cane sugar is sugar. Or it's no different than sugar. Then you have coconut sugar. Now, coconut sugar is derived from the sap of coconut palm trees. So coconut sugar and coconut palm sugar is the same thing. When you see it, sometimes it's just labeled a little different on the box. Same thing. They harvest the sap and they boil it down and allow it to crystallize into granulates. So unlike refined sugar, it retains some of the nutrients from the coconut palm. So including small amounts of iron, zinc, calcium, and potassium. So making it a little bit more nutrient dense, or a little bit more nutrient dense option compared to sugar. So if you get something, it has coconut sugar, it's the lesser evil, so to speak. So you're still getting a little bit nutrients, but as anything, you always want to take everything in moderation, because even you still have too much of a good thing, if that makes sense. Maple syrup is another one, but it has to be pure maple syrup. Like you have like pure maple syrup from Vermont, Maine, Canada. Like it has to be pure maple syrup, no other ingredients. Okay. So it contains numerous antioxidants. You can fight inflammatory diseases, and it may help protect against cancer. I'm trying to say protect and against at the same time. So it may help protect against cancer, and it supplies important vitamins and minerals for you. So if you like them pancakes, them waffles, and you like that syrup on it, put you some pure maple syrup on it, because that's helping you, not hurting you. All right. So that sounds good. This is what I've started doing. So when we travel and we go to, a lot of times we'll stay in like the Hampton Inn, or it has the breakfast and everything, and it just typically fits where we're at. And they do the breakfast. I always love the waffles. They're waffles. And I love it when they do the different flavored ones. So I've actually gotten to where like I'll purchase like the pure maple syrup and I take it with me so I can put it on the pancakes. Or the waffles. So basically the only thing I'm eating that's kind of quote unquote not really healthy is the waffles per se, but I'm getting the nutrients from the the syrup. So, as my uncle used to say, he was a diabetic. He said he could eat 2 Snicker bars if he drinks a Diet Coke. So you can't do that. I'm just saying. He used to say that all the time. But yes. All right. Honey. Let's get into honey. Now, this, there is so much with honey, you'd be surprised. I could probably do a whole show on honey alone. So honey. You have like local, raw, organic honey. Now, if you can, you always want to do local honey. I say this in a sense because the concept is local honey will help you with allergies. And the reason they say that is because the bees pollinate in that area. Then in turn, that goes into the honey. You're putting it in your system and you're building an immunity to the pollination around you, if that makes sense. So kind of the same concept with like when you get a flu shot or an ammunition shot, you know, it puts it in your system so your immune system can build up immunity to it. So the same concept with local honey. Okay. So if you can, local honey. A lot of times, like you can go to a farmer's market, or sometimes depending on where you live, if there's like some farms or something near you, or some people with land, they'll do their own honey and have like little stands. That's where you get your honey, or you should get your honey. All right. So a lot of that you also can, learn and know the process they use to make their honey, because you can sit there and talk to them one-on-one. Plus it just tastes better, but that's just me. Now, let's learn the difference in honey. You have pure honey, quote unquote, pure honey, is 100% honey without any other ingredients, such as without any other ingredients, such as corn syrup, which is sometimes added to industrial honey to reduce cost. It doesn't always tell you how the honey is processed. Right? We'll talk about industrial honey in just a minute, so just hang on to that. All right. Organic honey. Organic honey is organically grown plants, no pesticides, or no pesticides on or near the plants visited by the honeybees. So when I'm talking about, the plants that they pollinate is organically grown. The plants that the bees pollinate are organically grown. Bees can fly up to 2 miles to pollinate. So 2 miles from their hive. So all flowers within that 2 mile radius of the beehive is organic, and has to be organic, or must be certified organic for it to be truly certified organic honey. So if you see honey that says it's certified organic, that means like the beehives there, and within the 2 mile radius, all the plants and flowers that they pollinate is organic. Okay. So no pesticides on or near that 2 mile radius. All right. Now, labeled organic is not necessarily raw or minimally processed unless it's labeled as such. Much of the certified organic honey available in the U.S. is imported in large quantities from Brazil or other foreign countries and undergoes pasteurization and heavily filtration. We'll get into those in a minute. But you want to look for both raw and organic on the label. I know, it's a lot. Right. Then you have unfiltered honey. So filtering is removing very small particles often as small as pollen. It's not the same as straining. So when they strain the honey, they're removing larger debris. And also straining the honey will maintain the beneficial qualities of the honey. Filtered honey can be heated to make the process easier. We'll get into that in a minute. Raw, unfiltered honey ensures the most properties have been preserved. Raw honey. So you've heard me mention this twice. You've heard me mention it with the organic and talking about the unfiltered. Raw honey has not been heated to the point of pasteurization, which is no higher than 118 degrees Fahrenheit. When you heat honey, it takes most of, if not all, the nutrients out of the honey. Many beekeepers who prepare raw honey are also aware that how they care for the bees and handle the honey has a big impact on the honey you eat. So it's a good bet that raw honey is good for the bees too, and the process has been handled with care. Raw honey is a better choice for health, taste, bees, and the environment. Happy bees, happy honey. Or good honey, sorry. Good honey, happy bees. Kind of take it as, like, I know a few episodes back we talked about, when you cook, sometimes your mood goes into your food. Like, if you're happy, excited, your food turns out really good. But if you're angry, upset, pissed off at something, or sad, like you eat it, it doesn't taste good. And you cooked it the exact same way. So I kind of feel the same way, or like the commercial, happy cows, good milk, right? I realize my dad says happy wife, happy life. Anyways, so let's talk about raw versus processed honey. Your processed honey is going to typically be your store-bought honey. But raw honey boosts your immunity. Processed honey has little or no pollen. Raw honey has microbial, and anti-inflammatory. Processed honey has all enzymes and antioxidants lost. Raw honey is unfiltered and retains all antioxidants. Processed honey is filtered and pasteurized. Raw honey promotes digestive health. Processed honey may cause health issues in the long run. Think about that. And honey is supposed to be natural and good for you. Raw honey has no added sugar, and processed honey is loaded with sugar. Remember when I was talking about how sometimes the high fructose corn syrup is added to help reduce costs? Yes. So how to differentiate between raw honey and processed honey? You take a glass of warm water. If you put the raw honey in it and it doesn't dissolve and you have to stir it to dissolve it, that's raw honey. Processed honey, it dissolves very easily. A lot of times, store-bought honey, I know there's a lot of local honey that has started, or some stores have started carrying local honey, local-made honey, but your store-bought honey, in general, what they do is they heat it. When it's made in the factory, they heat it past that pasteurization, and they do that to help prevent it from crystallizing on the shelf. Because when you think about it, you see honey, it's crystallized, you're like, oh, it's not good anymore. Not true. Honey it crystallizes. It's natural. That's what it does naturally. If it crystallizes, it doesn't mean it's not good anymore. You can warm it up to decrystallize it. So like our honey, like if it crystallizes, interesting enough, like because my tea is hot and it steams, if I turn the thing over and just let the steam kind of go up into the honey, it starts liquidizing and goes down into my tea. So it like decrystallizes it. So and true honey never expires. So even if it's like your true raw honey and it's sitting there, it crystallizes and it's been in there for a year or two, it's still good. Okay? So true honey never expires. The store-bought honey, when they heat it to prevent it from crystallizing, to give it a longer shelf life, it doesn't it removes all the nutrients from it, and it's not really honey anymore. And then they also could possibly have added the high fructose corn syrup into it. So you're not doing yourself any favors by getting that. So again, you want to make sure. I would personally say raw, organic, raw, unfiltered honey. Different places they're going to say different things. I don't even know if I've even seen one that says all three of those things on it, to be honest with you. But I'm not saying it's not out there, but there's so many different things. But don't worry, there are links. There's a link in the, there's two links on honey in the description. One breaks down the difference in wording that we just went over, and it goes into a little bit more detail. And then the other one is there's a really cool chart with the difference between processed and raw that's on there. So definitely, if you don't remember it, definitely that's okay. Click on those links, take a look at those. They'll definitely get into that with you. And the next one, Stevia. Stevia is a plant-based, zero-calorie sweetener that actually benefits blood sugar control and heart health. Interesting, right? This is even more interesting. So Japanese researchers at Hiroshima University found that fermenting stevia leaves with specific bacteria creates powerful anti-cancer compounds. Research has shown that shows that it kills pancreatic cancer cells effectively while causing minimal damage to healthy kidney cells. Talking about a natural cure, interesting. So yes, I've put both the links to that. There's two links to that in the description. One is from Great Britain News talking about it, and then the other is kind of the study from the Hiroshima University as well. But yes, but stevia, as you see, I put both honey and stevia in my tea, organic stevia, and I use organic pure stevia. So you'll see stevias with other added ingredients. I don't use those. I use just stevia. Like the ingredient is stevia. They have created, there is a drink. I meant to bring the cans up here. And forgot until I started and realized I forgot to bring them. But it's called Zevia, Ziva. It is soda sweetened with stevia. It is if you want to drink soda, that's the soda to drink. You know, you can drink as many of those. You don't have to limit yourself or whatever if you don't want to. So you have, it's very interesting. They have turned around and kind of made are the typical sodas that we drink and turned them into Zevia and sweeten them with Zevia. So you have like Mountain Zevia, so kind of for like a Mountain Dew. There's an orange, so for your orange Fanta. There's a grape, like for your grape Fanta. There is a cherry Coke or Coca-Cola. My loving husband. Okay. So yes, so Zevia. So this is a black cherry, which is really good. And you have like black cherry. Then they have like cola, which you like after Coke. They even have the caffeine free, so it's not caffeinated. You have hold on. He's about. All right, there we go. I didn't want you to accidentally fall off. So there's caffeine free because the caffeine that they actually put in there is organic caffeine. So so you have the caffeine free cola, you have cola. They even have like lemon lime, which is like a Sprite version of the drink. They have a cherry cola as well. So they have a lot of different. They have their ginger root beer, and then they have the cream, and then they've actually done the ginger root. They've done a combination of the ginger cream root beer, and that one's really good. I like it. I'm not much of a root beer fan, but I do like the creamy root beer one. So they have a lot of different ones, and they've come out with an energy drink. A Zevia energy drink. Those are really good with different flavors. They've done the tea. I would look it up. Zevia. Actually, I'll put a link to their website in the description. I haven't yet, but it's really good. So definitely, we drink those. Even when I make tea, I add this. Even iced tea, I add the organic stevia flavoring into iced tea, and it's sweet, so it's a little bit sweeter than sugar. So you don't have to use as much of that as you would sugar to get that sweetness taste. So you definitely kind of have to build up to and kind of adjust to what you like or the sweetness of it that you like. I do know that I think when I tried to get him on the Zevia, he thought it was too sweet for him. I do know that some of the grocery stores do the, how they have the individual ones. So some of them might have like an individual Zevia. So if you want to buy that's already cold and try it that way, I would definitely do that. So try it. You might like it. Some flavors you might like the other. They have it on Amazon. Of course, they have it off their website, stores. Now, I would say I haven't seen any of their energy drinks in the stores. I've gotten it off of Amazon when I've bought their energy drinks. I really like them because they give you the energy, but you don't have that hard crash after drinking an energy drink full of sugar. You just kind of have that flow energy of just going, and then you're just okay, I'm ready to rest. So yes, definitely try those out. So yes, like I said, I've included all of the links in the description for different things that I've talked about today. There's also one in there talking about decoding sweeteners, which is really interesting, talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, and it goes through talking about the benefits and why some sweeteners are better than others. So that's definitely check that out. But yes, you can definitely go through, do your research, and do what works best for you. Okay? Everybody is different and responds differently to different things. So even though ideally stevia is supposed to be technically good for you, somebody might not react their system may react differently to it and they can't use that. So then there's other options for you to use to be able to sweeten things, okay? Some people might not react well to honey or maple syrup, or, everybody's different. So find what works best for you and you do that, okay? And so, yes. So thank you for watching. That was it's a lot, I know. But definitely check out the links in the description. Do your research and figure out what works best for you. Anyways, until next time, enjoy your tea. We'll see you next week under the willow tree.